There was a major shakeup today in the world's largest communist country, and it was the result of demands for reform getting out of control. Hu Yaobang was forced to resign as head of the Chinese Communist Party. Zhou Ziyang, the prime minister and a protege of leader Deng Xiaoping, was named the new party chief. As NBC's Ann Garrels reports now, this shakeup is expected to slow down reform in China, but not stop it cold.
The dilemma facing China, how to modernize the economy without upsetting the political system. Talk of political change spurred student demonstrations in December. Spreading to the major cities, these students called for a multi-party system, freedom of expression. At first, Deng tried to blame intellectuals for these demonstrations. But according to China experts, that was not enough for conservative opponents. Deng has walked a fine line, introducing capitalist ideas like profit and private enterprise into the marketplace without introducing political change. To salvage his economic reforms and placate conservatives, experts believe Deng Xiaoping sacrificed Party Secretary Hu.
The removal of Hu means that it has proven necessary to find a very, very high-level person to take the blame and the responsibility for the student protests.
Mr. Hu and others had argued that economic change could not succeed without political reforms. Today, Mr. Hu resigned, admitting his mistakes. But by putting Prime Minister Zhou Ziyang in his place, experts believe Deng's reform program has been saved.
The reformers have been able to sacrifice one of their own, but replace him with another.
The real test will come when 82-year-old Deng resigns. Who will follow? Will his policies survive then?
If he were to die tomorrow or next month, the vacuum created by his death would be enormous. Chinese political institutions are not so strong that they can easily move into a situation without that kind of strong leader.
State Department officials see little effect on U.S.-Chinese relations, but they too wonder about the future. Should the conservatives prevail, what would happen to the openings to the West? Ann Garrels, NBC News, the State Department.
The president of Ecuador, Leon Febres Cordero, was taken prisoner today by rebel Air Force officers in that country. A state of emergency was declared in Ecuador. The rebel officers reportedly demanded the ouster of Febres Cordero. They urged the vice president to take power. They also demanded the release of an Air Force general who led a rebellion last March. Febres Cordero, in a taped message, appealed for calm.
Ministerio de Defensa por la vía telefónica de que se paralice toda movilización militar.
Febres Cordero, a conservative, is a staunch ally of the United States, and the Reagan administration was quick to condemn the kidnapping. No one knows for sure how long it will last, but so far this year, Wall Street's bull market has been having an astonishing run, and today was no exception. NBC's Doug Ramsey reports that investors are rushing to grab the action.
In the first half hour of trading, the Dow Jones Industrial Average surged 14 points, closing up almost 6. It was the 10th straight session of hectic trading on Wall Street and at brokerage firms around the country.
We've seen an increase from December of approximately 7,500 calls a day to thus far in January approximately 12,000 calls a day.
People believe that the stock market is going to be probably one of the best investments for 1987.
Since January 5th, the Dow has hit a new high every single day, breaking the 2,000 mark and sending the blue chip average to a close of 2,076.63 this week. Trading on the New York Stock Exchange has soared, with a record 253 million shares changing hands on Thursday.
Now, when you say you want to get into the market, how much money are you talking about investing?
I was thinking like 3,000.
Financial call-in shows report a surge of interest in stock tips and advice.
Some of this money is actually coming from sale of stocks toward the end of last year for tax reasons. Now this money is being reinvested. Plus, I think we're finding private investors coming into the market that had not been active at all during the last year or two.
Some of those investors are switching from certificates of deposit and savings accounts that no longer look attractive because they pay low interest rates.
They're only paying 5.2, 5.5, which is a losing proposition.
People are looking for a little bit higher return, and some of them are turning to the stock market in search for that return.
The consensus on Wall Street now is that prices will continue to rise through 1987. But investors should be wary. Only a month ago, most of the big brokers were predicting exactly the opposite. Doug Ramsey, NBC News, New York.
An unusual murder story tonight from California. A man has been arrested and charged with the murder of a young woman. But as NBC's Charles Gomez reports now, some cops find it hard to believe that this man could have done it.
Kara Evelyn Knott, a student at San Diego University, called her parents on the evening of December 27th to tell them she was headed home after visiting her boyfriend. A day later, her body was found in a creek bed under an interstate highway. Her body had been thrown from a 75-foot bridge. A coroner's report said she had been strangled. Police asked for the public's help in solving the crime, and Kara's family distributed posters throughout the community.
It helps us to do something rather, and it helps to have something that you can do and something that we can work on to try to make her death something, you know, positive come out of it.
The case attracted great media attention in San Diego. An NBC affiliate, KCST, as part of that coverage, interviewed Highway Patrol Officer Craig Allen Pyer, who offered this advice to young women whose cars break down on the highway.
Anything could happen. Being a female, you could be raped, robbed if you're a male, all the way to where you could be killed.
Last evening, police arrested Pyer, a 13-year veteran of the Highway Patrol, for the murder of Kara Knott. Police say Pyer stopped other motorists on the same stretch of highway. They told police Pyer's behavior was strange.
I felt that the encounter was so spooky, and I said, "Officer, if you are an officer, I'm speaking up to you. Please step back and identify yourself. You're alarming us. You're scaring us."
Pyer's arraignment, which was to be held today, has been postponed until Sunday.